Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Well, last week I got the 12-inch Humminbird Solix installed on the driver's console, and this week we're going to set up the network. So I got the Ethernet switch ordered and the Ethernet cables, but I need to run independent power up to this Solix graph. So we'll start with that and hopefully get this network set up so we can share waypoints and transducers. So let's go. All right, to get started, we're going to have to run that 10 gauge wire just like we did on the front bow insulation on the front graph. So one thing I did right away is I went ahead and labeled the one I ran up front. But here's the new line right here. So we've got to run this line all the way up through here and up here to the driver's console. And then I can wire up power to the Solix. And I'm also going to run power. Let me get up here, hang tight with me. I'm also going to run that power to this accessory switch. And that accessory switch is what's going to give power to the new Ethernet switch that I ordered. So that's the plan right now. That's what I got to get done right now. So let's get this wire here, run through here, and get it done. It's probably going to be one of the most crappiest jobs. It's not an easy job to get those wires run through there. So let's get started on that. All right, a little trick that I use to run these lines like this is a metal fish tape. So what I did was I ended up on this go round, I had to run the fish tape up here where this Perco light is located, and just run it up here through the gunnel. And then once I got it through down here, once I got it through there, then I just bring it down here, and I tied on a twine rope with black electrician's tape. So we're going to pull this rope up here through the gunnel, up there through the Perco light over there, and we'll at least have it run that far, and then it won't be nothing to run it the rest of the way. So that's how I ended up having to do it this time. The last time I was able to go right through there at the bottom. There's a PVC pipe down there in the bottom. Probably can't see it, but I'm gonna have to run it in the top just like I did the front one, just because it's just so limited on space. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this rope through, and once I get it all the way pulled through, I'll show you. Well, wish me luck. I got the twine rope tied to the new electrical line that's gonna go to the Solix, and there's the rope there. So I'm gonna pull this through here. Wish me luck. Success. I've got the line run through there, as you can see. So now it's time to start wiring this dude. So that's what I'm going to do next. I think I'm going to take a short break though. That's kind of a pain in the bootay, but I'm glad it's done. That's the hardest part. So anyway, guys, I'll try to mount the camera underneath here and show you how I'm going to do the wiring here in a little while. Okay, I got the main, this is the main line coming in. It's going to be coming from the Dakota lithium battery. And I've already got them kind of prepped and ready. And I'm going to use a special connector for these. Let me get the box and I'll read you what connector it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a fully insulated disconnect is what they call them. Okay, and it looks like this here. So that's what I'm going to put on the ends up here on the main line. That's how I'm going to start the wiring. And all you got to do is put them on there. And the way I pre-cut them, I've cut them to the proper length for the fitting, you know. So it slips right on there. This is for 10 gauge wire. And then I'm going to get my crimper. I'm going to crimp down on that dude. And that's all you got to do there. I'm not going to do it right now. I just wanted to show you that. Those are the ends that I'm going to put on. So I'll put the other one on here. And so this is how I'm going to carry the signal forward to the Solix graph and the switch. This will be the transfer point. Now, the other part of the fitting looks like this, and it just fits on here like so. You know, it just fits on like that. And so for this end here, that's what I'll hook the graph into, and also the wires going to the switch. So anyway, I just wanted to show you what kind of electrical connectors I was using here. But I'll come back here in a minute and show you how everything turned out. Alright, I got that wired up. So this wire right here is the power cable going to the Humminbird Solix. So I've got, this is the main wire coming in. It's going to be a ground and a hot. Okay, so then the power cable, the hot, goes to the graph, ground goes to the graph, and then there's also a hot and a ground that goes over here. Okay, and it goes to this switch right there, and the ground is the top, and I'm not sure about the middle and bottom yet. I know they're both hots, but one's a load, meaning one of them will be the main hot wire coming in, and then one of them will be the load going out. And the load going out is the one that I'm going to send to the Ethernet switch. So for right now, until I get the Ethernet switch, I've got everything wired underneath here. So now I can go back and wire up the battery. I got to put an inline fuse holder with a 5 amp fuse. So that'll be the next step. Alright, well, it's the next day, and now that I've got everything wired up under the dash, I need to come back here and do the batteries now. So I need to get a inline fuse wired up on here. I've got it sitting up here. And then I got the batteries back in there. So we got both Dakota lithium batteries installed in the battery case. I already wired up the front one, of course. So now I got to do this battery. And so that's where we're at. We're going to get started on that today and get it done. I'm getting excited now because once I get that network on there, it's going to be pretty cool. All right, I got the inline fuse holder wired up. Got a 5 amp fuse put in it. And so I'm going to put this on the battery. And then up here I've got my multimeter already set up. So I'm going to read, make sure I've got 12 volts going to the switch. And then I'm also going to test the output of the switch that's eventually going to go to the Ethernet switch. So let me get this wire put on the battery and we'll do that test. Okay, I got the battery hooked up, ready to go. So let's go up here and see what kind of voltage we have up here at the dash. We've got 13.58, which according to my brother, a new battery will run hot like that. So, you know, you would think 12 volts, but anyway, it's a brand new battery, so it's going to read that way. So now I need to check on the load going out to the Ethernet switch. So I'll have to switch the lines, so give me just a second. Okay, I got the lines switched. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the accessory switch on, which will then send the load to the Ethernet switch. Of course, there's nothing hooked up since I don't have the Ethernet switch yet. But let's try this out. So switch is on, and I've got 13.57 volts. Switch is off. That's exactly what we need to happen. So success. All right, now we're going to test the Humminbird graph. So moment of truth. Let's see here. Looky there, guys. She's booting up. We got power. So all of my, this graph is now on independent power, and it's no longer on the house power over here. So that's a win. Okay, she booted up all the way, so we're good to go. I'm waiting on the Ethernet switch and the Ethernet cables. So I can't really do anything on this project until I get that stuff. So it'll only be a day or two, so I guess we'll see you then. Well, it's several days later. We had I think 3 days of rain, so I couldn't get out here and do anything. But I did get the Ethernet switch. And I've got the Ethernet cables, so we're ready to get started. One thing I'll say about this Ethernet switch is this is the most recent Ethernet switch that Humminbird has released. I guess there were people that complained on the first one because it didn't have indicator lights, but this one has indicator lights. It has an amber color for power. It has green LEDs for the 5 ports. So you'll know what's going on with your network just by glancing at the Ethernet switch. So anyway, one critique I would say is I wish they would have put an on-off switch on here. That way I wouldn't have had to wire up on the accessory switch over there. You know, one thing is when you're not fishing, your boat's just sitting in your driveway, you don't want this thing drawing off of power if it's not on a switch. So that's kind of a little thing that I noticed with it that I didn't like. But anyway, we're going to get started on this and hopefully get this mounted pretty quick and get it wired up and see how this network works. All right, I got this thing out of the box and I decided that I'm going to mount it right up here, right there. And that's on the back side of the driver's console inside the rod locker. So this is where I decided I'm going to put it. And I've got the power cable. I've already put the ends on the power cable, and that's going to go up on the switch on the console. So going to be a little tricky, but it shouldn't take too long. It came with 2 stainless steel screws. I don't know if I'm going to use that or not, but we'll figure it out here in a second. Alright, I think she looks pretty, like right about there. Don't you think? But you know, now that I think about it, I may want to check the length of my power cable to make sure I want to have enough length. Let's do that first. Alright, guys, I decided I'm going to mount it about right in this area here. So I got a marker here. I'm going to try to mark this right side first. Well, I'll just go ahead and mark both sides since I got it here. That should do it. Hopefully. No, you can barely see it. Right there. So I'm going to do that. I'm not worried about the other one. That'll be fine. So, take the drill here. Ooh, you gotta be careful with the carpet. And that's all you need. Don't need much. So let's get this first one started. Okay, let's get this first one going. And make sure that this is even going to work. It should. Yeah, it's going to work good. So I'm going to go ahead and drill the other hole and mount her up and we'll be good to go. Okay, I got the other hole drilled. I just got to tighten the screws down, but it looks like it's going to hold really good. And I just use that, pre-drilled the hole. But I'm going to tighten it down with the screwdriver so I don't strip them out, you know. That's in there solid, guys. So she's installed. Okay, I got the Ethernet switch mounted. I've got one of the Ethernet cables run, and I've also got the power cable run. And then I went ahead and put my graph on the console. I went ahead and put it there, and I got all the lines run. So everything worked out great. Boy, it's windy today. So here's down here. Here is where the switch, I've got it hooked into the switch. So we're ready to go. So now I need to pull that cover back, and we'll go ahead and get my front graph mounted up here. Run this other cable, and then we're ready to network these two together. So that's the next step. Okay, success. I've got everything hooked up. We've got status indicator lights for Ethernet port 1 and 2, and we got the amber light for power. I've got both graphs booted up. Front graph is on. Driver's graph is on. But let's go in here, let me show you the network. So we're going to go to Home, then we're going to go to Settings, then we're going to go to Network, and then we're going to do Network Information. So there you go. So this is this unit here, and this is the other unit. It's seeing the other unit. So success. Now let's check the other one. Obviously, if it's seeing it on that one, it should see it on this one as well. So let's come up here, do the same thing. Settings. It's already on network. Network information. And there you go. It sees this unit and the driver's unit. So there you go. Finally got it done. I'm glad. It turned out pretty cool. So now I just gotta dig in and get in the manual and just learn how to do everything. I'll probably do a follow-up video maybe. But I hope you've enjoyed this. I've learned something. I hope you have. But click like on the video. Subscribe to my channel. I'm always doing these DIY videos, and I'm really hoping to get out there and do some fishing videos next week. We're going to have several days. It's going to be really nice. So I'm looking forward to using this new system. So anyway, until next time, go do something.